Hey everyone, this is my new home office and studio setup, a space I've been working on for a while now. This room is just 9 square meters and in the beginning I wasn't sure if I could fit everything in here. The space was still getting ready and full of clutter, so it was hard to picture the final layout. I knew I wanted a space that could do it all: work, filming, editing, and a little chill time. So I decided to split this space into two zones. The first one is all about creativity: bright white tones, hints of color, and a clean backdrop that works perfectly for unboxings and product videos. I went with a wide Flexispot desk in this area, which is 120 x 60 centimeters, along with an IKEA Alex unit for extra storage. I mounted an IKEA pegboard here to hold all the gears I use constantly: gimbals, remotes, keyboards, and those little tools that would otherwise clutter the desk. On the other side, the tones shift completely. Walnut, grey, and black come together to create a calmer, more focused workspace. This is where I edit, plan videos, and get most of my work done. This side features my recently upgraded standing desk from Vernal. It's a 160 x 80 centimeters walnut finished desktop, and it instantly gave the room a more premium feel. I've paired it with a few accessories from Vernal: a desk shelf, a keyboard drawer, and a monitor arm. A new addition, which is side cabinet. Together, they've turned this corner into my main editing and productivity zone. As I was building out the workspace and assembling both desks, I started noticing some interesting differences between Vernal standing desks and Flexispot E7 Pro. Since I've been using both the desks in the same room for a while now, it became easy to see how they compare in real use. Starting with assembly, the Vernal setup was honestly smoother, as everything is labeled, holes perfectly pre-drilled, and the accessories just fit without any efforts. This is actually the second time I've assembled this desk, and both assembling and putting it back together again was super easy. Talking about the Flexispot assembly, it took noticeably more time to put together. Even getting the frame positioned correctly on the desktop was a bit of a task. The user manual wasn't very clear, and that became obvious pretty early into the build. Even though you don't need any power tools for it, a few of the accessories needed to be pushed into place with more force than I expected. Some of the holes were only pre-drilled for the main frame, so attaching the additional components required extra drilling into the table. While putting the Flexispot together, a few build quality issues became noticeable. Before securing it to the tabletop, the frame leaned slightly, almost like it wasn't perfectly balanced on its own. Some of the screw points needed a bit of adjusting, because they weren't aligned as accurately as I'd hoped. And on the legs, the paint finish had a few odd spots or tiny holes that took away from the clean look when the desk was put under a bright light. Now on to stability, something you only start paying attention to after using the desks for a while. Both are rated to hold up to 160 kilos, which easily covers a normal setup with monitors and speakers. But in real-world use, the two definitely feel different. The Vernal has a noticeably heavier base and thicker legs, and you can feel that extra stability right away. Even at the maximum height, the desk stays firm and doesn't shift much, whether you're typing or moving equipment around. With the Flexispot, the desk still works well, but when you raise it all the way up, there's a bit of wobble that you can't ignore. To test it properly, I placed a glass of water on each desk and adjusted the height. On the Flexispot, you could clearly see small ripples forming in the water as the desk went up or down. The Vernal, on the other hand, barely made the water move. The surface stayed stable, even during height adjustments. And if you work standing up or use top-heavy gear, that extra stability really makes a difference. When it comes to the control panels, what I liked about the E7 Pro desk that it does have a small advantage. The keypad includes a USB port, which isn't there in Vernal, so charging phones or accessories are at ease. But the placement isn't ideal. I kept accidentally pressing the buttons while standing close to the desk. Vernal's keypad design hugs the edge of the table, preventing accidental touches. It's simple, reliable, and looks cleaner. In terms of height, adjustability, and speed, Flexispot moves slightly faster at 40 mm per second, whereas Vernal's 38 mm per second, but that's barely noticeable. The height range is also a bit higher on the Flexispot, 60 to 129 centimeters, but for daily use, Vernal's range 63 to 126 centimeters hits the sweet spot. Another big difference I noticed while setting up both desks was the cable management. On the Flexispot, the cables running from the controller box are quite long, so they end up bunching together and looking a bit messy. The cable cover they include is made from cloth with magnets, which sounds convenient at first, but in my case, it actually came off while I was trying to plug the power cable into the wall. And because the Flexispot desk I'm using is the smaller version, 120 x 60 centimeters in size, the space between the cable tray and the middle controller is really tight. It was quite hard to route the cables from the front, so I had to move them from the sides. And it is quite complicated if you plan to add a power extension on it. With the Vernal Desk, the experience was totally different. The cable cover is screwed into place, so once it's installed, it's solid and stays secured, as most probably after setup, you don't really need to touch the controller cables again. It just feels more thought out and definitely easier to work with. And honestly, the biggest surprise came when I started comparing the prices across all the different sizes. When you look at the Flexispot lineup, the cost climbs quickly as you go up in desktop size, and by the time you choose a frame and match it with the tabletop you want, the total becomes quite high. Vernal's options and the complete table plus frame setup stays much more reasonable across all sizes. Whether you're going for something compact or a full 160cm setup, the pricing stays consistent as the initial cost for a frame and tabletop is lower than Flexispot. And when it comes to design, the Vernal setup feels far more cohesive. Everything is built around a proper workspace ecosystem, so the shelves, trays, and accessories all match the desk in both style and fit. It gives the whole setup a cleaner, more intentional look without worrying about compatibility or mismatched finishes. And that same sense of cohesion continues with the Vernal side cabinet, which is one of the pieces that really completes this setup. It's the high close variant, and the finish matches perfectly with the desk, and it adds a clean, premium touch to the setup without taking up much space. I've turned the top section into a small charging and signing station. It's one of those subtle additions that make a huge difference in daily use. Whether I'm quickly topping up my phone or need to sign a document, it's just the perfect spot. And right underneath, you get two open shelves. Perfect for books, quick access gear, or in my case, a printer, so everything's within easy reach whenever I need to print out a document or a video plan. It's such a small detail, but it's made my workflow a lot smoother. Below that, there are two smaller drawers that are perfect for the little things that usually end up all over the desk. I'm using one for tech essentials, portable drives, microphones, and a few small camera tools. The other is my charging drawer. That's where I keep all my extra cables, power banks, and adapters. No more searching around when I need to plug something in. And the bottom drawer is where the real storage space kicks in. It's quite spacious, and I'm using it to fit my video lights, tripods, and even some of the packaging from recent reviews. There's also a folder rail inside, which is great if you're someone who likes to keep their documents sorted. I personally use that space a bit differently, but it's nice to have the option. I also like that it comes with a lock, super handy for keeping any expensive gear or personal items safe when I'm not around. Overall, this side cabinet feels less like a separate piece of furniture and more like part of the desk itself. It keeps the setup clean, organized, and most importantly, functional. Everything I need is right here in one place, whether I'm working, signing off documents, or just wrapping up the day. I've also added up some new pieces to this setup since the last upgrade. The Edifier MR4 studio speakers have been amazing for editing audio and music, giving me a much clearer soundstage. The ProtoArc Compact wireless keyboard adds a clean, minimal look to the desk, and it honestly feels a lot better than I expected for the price. And recently I switched my mouse as well. I moved from Logitech to the ProtoArc M11, and this thing is incredibly light. It almost disappears in your hand, and when you're working the whole day, that makes a huge difference. It's smooth, quiet, and doesn't add any strain at all. And of course, the chair hasn't changed. I'm still using my all-time favorite H80 Pro from Musso. The height adjustment is smooth, the 60 armrests make it easy to get the perfect position whether I'm typing or leaning back, and the padded lumbar support is just on another level. It's supportive without being stiff, which makes long editing sessions so much easier. I also picked up a walnut finish headphone stand that matches the desk perfectly and holds my Marshall Major headphones, still my go-to for long editing sessions. And for multitasking, I added a portable UPerfect monitor. It's bright enough to use anywhere and has been super helpful for editing timelines or reviewing scripts on the side. Now let's talk about something that makes a huge difference in how the room feels day to day, the Dreo Ecosystem. These are smart devices from Dreo. When put together, they completely change the comfort level in this space. Alright, so first one is Turbo Poly Fan 502. It's Wi-Fi enabled smart fan, super quiet, and has omnidirectional oscillation, which means it pushes air evenly across the entire room. I really like that it's height adjustable and easy to clean. Perfect for a small studio like this, where airflow can get a bit limited. And since it's connected to the Dreo app, I can adjust the speed or oscillation right from my phone. And right next to the desk, I've got the Smart Humidifier 7 and 13S. This one's probably my favorite. It offers both cool and warm mist modes, which makes it great for both winter and summer. It also has auto humidity control and even dual aroma pad trays, so I can add a subtle scent while working or editing. Like the rest of the Dreo devices, it connects to the app, so everything's just a tap away, from fan speed to mist levels to room temperature. Then there's the Dreo Whole Room Heater 714S. an absolute essential once the colder months hit. This thing warms up instantly, spreads heat evenly, and somehow stays whisper quiet the whole time, even on the higher settings. It also comes with 3D oscillation, which means it can spread the heat in vertical and horizontal movements. It has also got multiple built-in safety features, so if it tips over, then the heater shuts off instantly, and you also get notification on your phone. Having all these connected through the Dreo app means I can control the whole environment without moving from my desk, and since they also work with Alexa and Google Home, they respond to voice commands and makes the whole setup feel even more seamless. Finally, let's talk about lighting, a small detail that makes a huge difference, especially when filming or editing videos. I've layered a few different types to make the space both functional and flexible. First, the track lights on the ceiling provide general light for the room. I'm using warm white LED bulbs on it and they're perfect for overall brightness. Next, I've got the IKEA Jetstrom position near the pegboard. It casts light from the left side, which is ideal when I'm shooting unboxing videos. It creates soft shadows and balances the overall exposure on camera. And the best thing, the color and brightness can be adjusted using the IKEA remote control, which is quite handy. On the right side, there's the Govee uplighter. It has 3 modes, so I can adjust it depending on the type of video or the mood I'm going for. I usually keep it lower for balance, which helps avoid harsh shadows during filming. Plus, for chill mode, just switch to ripple effect, which completely transforms the room aesthetics for movie time and gaming. And finally, the Califo desk backlight, which is placed behind the desk. It's app controlled, so I can adjust color, brightness, and even set custom effects. It really ties the whole desk area together, giving it a nice backlight. And on the desk, I'm using the Xiaomi Monitor LED light bar. It gives this really clean, even light across the workspace without bouncing off the screen. Plus, it has different color temperatures, warm, cool, neutral, which makes it easy to choose the exact warmth I need for the moment. And with everything finally coming together, the desk setup, the side cabinet, the lighting and all the little details, this room has turned into a space that genuinely fits every part of my workflow. It's compact, it's clean, and it lets me switch from filming to working to chilling without missing a beat. I'm really happy with how it all turned out, and I hope this tour gives you some ideas for your own setup. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.